All right, so let's go over our Sony camera settings. I currently use the Sony a6400, so I'm going to show you everything that I personally use. I'm not saying this is what you this is the right settings. I'm not saying that these are perfect settings. These are what I like to use, and I'll show you a different option. So when you first turn on the camera, so you have your touchscreen here. Let's just go over some of the options. So this 1/60, this is going to be our shutter speed. I film in 30 frames per second. 30 frames per second for me looks a little bit smoother than 24. 24 though is gonna give you that more cinematic look. So that's up to you. But whenever you're using your shutter speed, it always has to be double your frame rate. So if you're in 24 frames per second, you want to be in 1/50. If you're in 30, you want to be 1/60. If you're in 60 frames per second, 1/120. And if you're in 120 frames per second, you want to be 1/240. So always make sure that's the 180-degree shutter speed rule. For your f-stop, you want to make sure that your f-stop is as low as it possibly can be. What is your f-stop? So this is f.14. Basically, it's your aperture, so that's going to allow you to get you that very blurry background when you're sort of looking for that. And the lower your aperture is, the lower that f-stop number is, the more blurry background and bokeh that you're going to get. This M.mm number, this is your exposure level. So this is going to become really important because when you are filming an S-Log, you're going to need to overexpose your footage accordingly. And then lastly, your ISO, this is going to be basically the brightness of your shot. So without further ado, let's go to our menu. Let's go to our settings. So we'll first start in menu 1. And we'll go here. So these are just photos, but file format, JPEG, all of these. This is all that I have here. Lens compensation, auto off. Shooting mode, this is all off. Bracket settings, self timer off. Oh, and then lastly, make sure that you are on the video tab for here. So there's that. And then we'll go here. None of this I use at all, so don't worry about that. Again, don't use any of this either. All right, so focus mode, continuous AF, balance, wide, focus area limit. I have all of these. Go back. Switch VH AF area, I have that off. AF illuminator auto, face eye AF, I have on. Human auto on. AF with shutter on, pre-AF on. AF area registration off. Just go ahead here. I don't use that at all. I have these both off, or off and then on. Does not circulate. Micro adjustments, I have this off. Exposure, this doesn't work for me. ISO settings, we have this. Perfect. Metering mode, multi. Face priority, multi. Spot metering point center, exposure step 0.3. This one, I don't use this at all, so don't worry about that. Flash mode, all of this, ambient plus flash. White balance, I have my own white balance set, but if you don't have that, use auto white balance, but I made my own white balance. Priority set white balance standard, picture effect off, picture profile. So this is where you're gonna be able to do S-Log. So I just use picture profile 1, and I'll go ahead and show what that looks like. So I have 0, S-Log 2. We film an S-Log 2 because this is a Sony 8-bit camera, so S-Log 3 isn't really built for it. S-Log 2 is for 8-bit cameras. Black camera, knee, color mode. We have S-Gamut. And then saturation, color, depth. We have all of this. Detail, we have it at 0. And yeah, that's my picture profile one. This is how you film an S-Log. And then I have this focus magnifier. I have it at this, doesn't really do anything. 2 seconds, 1 times on. Peaking, we have it as on. Peaking level is high, peaking color is red. So what are peaking? Peaking is going to show you what you're focusing on when you're in manual focus. I'll show you that later. Don't have any of this on. Exposure mode, manual, file format, AVC 4K. Okay, record settings. So this is where you can actually change what you're filming in. For me, like I said, I film in 30 frames per second because I like how it's a little bit smoother. But you want to be in 30p, 30p 100 m or megabits per second, or you want to be in 24p 100 megabits per second. So this is going 24 frames is more cinematic, but I just like the smoother, the extra frames for 30 in order to get a little bit smoother since I do gym content. S&Q settings, I have this as that. Proxy recording off. Normal, standard, on. Audio record level, I have it as 23. Audio level on. Wood noise reduction, have that off. You do not need to use that. You should use noise reduction in post. Marker display off. Marker settings, I have it as on. 235 1. Movie with shutter, I have as on. And then I have all of these. Zoom, I don't use this at all. That gives you like a digital zoom if you don't have a zoom lens, but I just do that in post. Display buttons, so this is what I have here. This is really up to you. But yeah, I don't really... I don't really, I didn't really touch that. Finder, we have this. What is display all info? Oh no. Monitor manual, Finder frame rate standard, zebra settings, I have it as on and at 75. Grid lines, rule of thirds, exposures, set guide on. These are just gonna be custom settings, so I'm not gonna go over this. Let's see. Oh, if you are in auto white balance, you should set a custom key for auto white balance lock. So your third button, so this trash button, before you record, you want to press that to lock your white balance before you record. So that's what I do suggest for your custom key. So for the first one. Okay, then I have all this, touch focus, always unlock. What was this? Yeah. And then I have all of this, don't need to go over that. Don't need to go over this or that. Yeah, don't need to do any of that. Manual, auto, gamma display. So this is going to, when you're looking at your screen while you're recording, you actually see like the S-Log2 to regular footage, Rec 709. So yeah, have that. I have all of this. I don't use this, don't use the last option at all, so don't worry about that. Cleaning mode, if you just want to clean your camera, honestly, I'll just do it right now. Okay, did that. Touch operations on, touchpad plano, touchpad settings. Yeah, don't use the TCUB settings. Have this all like that. And yeah, don't use any of this either. I haven't touched any of the regular stuff, but yeah, then this is my personal menu, so don't worry about that. And yeah, that's all of your settings. So let's go over some of the buttons. So obviously this is your menu button up top here. This is to use your flash. Right here, this is your function menu. So the function menu, you can have what you want to change in here, and then use this scroll wheel to move left or right. But yeah, and then up top here, I don't really use these buttons, so don't worry about it. This one, as you can see, if you film something, you can play it back. Obviously, that's your trash button if you're in that. If you click up on the thing, it'll show you some different display options. Me personally, the two that I actually use are going to be having this histogram up, as well as the leveler to make sure that I'm level. But yeah, then if you turn right, you actually can't use this because you are in manual exposure. ISO, this is where you can change your ISO accordingly. And if you are filming an S-Log, there is a minimum ISO that you have to maintain. You cannot go below that. So keep that in mind. For this one, it's called your native ISO, so you can only go 500 to 32,000, I believe. So yeah. And we go down, you can't use this because we're not in ISO auto. All right. And then up top here, this little wheel dial, this will change your f-stop accordingly. Like I said, you want to make sure that your f-stop is all the way down. And so right now we're in manual focus, so that means that I have to use this on the camera to sort of focus. So I'll show you guys, but we have our zebra line, so that's zebra line showcasing what is being we're losing detail in the whites. Now, I don't really mind it for whites because especially in lights, you're gonna get the zebra line, so that's fine. If there's anything else that's getting zebra line, like the wall, for example, then I would decrease your ISO. And then for your ISO, so when you're filming an S-Log, you wanna be in plus 1.3 to plus 2.0 and make sure that it's not blinking for the majority of for the most part. Now it's blinking here, so I'm going to decrease it. And since I can't go below the ISO, I actually have a ND filter that I can go ahead and make it a little bit darker. But yeah, that is that. Manual focus, again, I'm going to show you how it looks, but basically we can go ahead and, or are we in manual focus? No, we're in autofocus. So in autofocus, all you're going to do is press the screen and that will focus on whatever you're trying to focus on. And then if we switch to manual focus, as you see, there's all these black lines, or these red lines, sorry, and that's going to showcase what's being focused on. So keep that in mind. But yeah, make sure your dot level is plus 1.3 to plus 2.0, but make sure that the 2.0 is not blinking. Again, keep your shutter speed, double your frame rate, your f-stop as low as possible, and keep your ISO as low as possible. But yeah, in order to change your exposure level, all you're going to do is either increase your ISO, or if you want to make it darker and you're already at the darkest part, you're going to have to lower your aperture and that will make it darker. So yeah, that is all the Sony camera this is my Sony camera settings that I use. But yeah, hope this helps for you guys, and yeah.